His whole crew died in a single night, because while he slept, his starving men slaughtered the one herd he had begged them never to touch, because these were no ordinary cattle. They belonged to the sun god himself, and his revenge was so total that even Zeus could not refuse it. 2 prophets had warned Odysseus of this island, the ghost of Tiresias and the witch Circe, the same words both times: land on Thrinacia, touch the sun god's cattle, and you lose your ship and every man with you. So Odysseus begged his crew to sail straight past it, but they were exhausted and afraid of the night sea, and swore a solemn oath. They would only rest on the shore and never harm a single animal. Then the winds turned against them. For a whole month a gale pinned them to the island, and they could not leave. Their food ran out. The men grew thin and desperate, hunting birds and fish that were never enough, while the fat, sacred cattle grazed in front of them every single day. One day Odysseus walked inland to pray, and the gods closed his eyes in sleep. While he slept, Eurylochus turned the starving crew. Better to die at sea than waste away here. Let us eat the best of the cattle, and build the sun god a rich temple when we get home to make amends. So they drove off the finest cattle and slaughtered them. They feasted for the first time in weeks, sure they could buy back the gods' mercy later. But the gods sent horrors to mark the crime. The stripped hides began to crawl along the ground. The meat on the spits lowed like living cattle. Odysseus woke, smelled the roasting meat, and knew at once they were doomed. But it was too late. The cattle were already dead. High above, the sun god saw everything and raged to Zeus, "Punish these men, or I will leave the sky and shine only among the dead." For 6 days the crew feasted. On the 7th, the storm broke and they finally sailed, straight into the trap, far out at sea. Zeus answered the sun god. He hurled a single thunderbolt that shattered the ship to splinters and threw every man into the water. One by one, Odysseus watched his entire crew drown around him. Of all the men who left Troy with him, he was now the only one left alive. Alone, clinging to a broken beam, he drifted for 9 days to a strange island. And the strangest part of his journey was about to begin. That's the next story. Follow for the next part, because the journey only gets stranger from here.